Coming to you live from Alola's Battle Royale Dome, it's the one, the only P.U.C.L Battlecast.
Hello and welcome to Battlecast. I am your host, Seth Vilo, here today with some battlicious co-hosts.
Thatch.
And our Sigma.
And we are here to bring you all sorts of things battle-oriented, because that's what we do on Battlecast. We battle over things, because that's how it is. And this week's topic is coming to you in a bit. It's a secret. I'm not telling. Are you guys telling?
I mean, it's probably in the title for this episode that they've already downloaded.
A very good point.
I'm pretty sure it's going to say Battlecast 14. Moon Series, VGC, 2019. I'm pretty sure it's going to say something like that.
What he said. I forgot to write down what number this was, so...
14. Hooray. I only know this because Battlecast has existed for, I think this is the third year of Battlecast.
Mm-hmm.
And we're finally passing the torch to you. And because I'm really bad at making it consistently. And one of the things that's happening with that is I just remember we're just like, this is the year that we're just going to start doing it once a month, right? We're going to come on a regular schedule with it. And I just remember doing the one last month and being like, 13. So it's going to look like we've done it for 2 years, but we've definitely done it for longer.
Shh, I won't tell if you won't.
I'm not going to tell anybody.
Except everybody. Just now.
Yep.
Anywho, we're on to Battlecast. There's a little bit of stuff that's been going on, just in general metagames. A lot of it's going to be Smogon stuff. Sorry, people. But a lot of just minor tier shifts, minor things like that. So one of them is a sad loss today. Linian, cry, go ahead. You're going to want to. Stakataka is banned from the RU metagame.
So is it just RU.B.L now? Is that what it is?
Yeah.
RU.B.L?
Yeah, that's what it's going to be.
I mean, yeah, that makes sense. It's a ban list. Never mind. I'm wrong.
So,
yeah,
our poor wall is gone.
So what was the reasoning behind that?
You know, that is an excellent question. Let me see if I can find...
I really want to know the reasoning behind Stakataka ban. I understand RU can kind of get nasty with the steel and rock type, and Stakataka with the trick room. Trick room's just nasty in RU.
Exactly.
To begin with.
That was the main reason behind it.
I was going to say, they lost Gligar recently too, didn't they?
Oh, yeah, that's right. Gligar went to UU, so that's just going to leave a vacuum for something that would have walled Stakataka previously.
Mm-hmm.
And that's definitely the big issue,
right.
I think.
Yeah.
Stakataka probably just got to steamroll.
Yeah. And with some of the most monstrous things. Yeah, Gligar is good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Gligar is definitely the reason to do it. I mean, Stakataka is good. Don't get me wrong. I mean, obviously, we're going to talk about it a little bit more later today, but it's definitely really, 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 really good at what it does. It's really good. Good on you, Stakataka. Doing things, getting banned.
And on the topic of bans, just kind of moving right along, Thatch, do you want to cover what happened in what's happening? What's happening? Because I know you love this tier so much. Little Cup.
Okay, so I was distraught because we were doing the research for the episode today, and I didn't know this because I haven't played Showdown for a couple days because I'm in the middle of moving to a new house, and I didn't realize that Abra is being suspect tested. So in Little Cup, which is fine, because a little part of me was like, at least it's not Diglett. Right?
For once.
For once, they're not suspect testing Diglett, which is great because Diglett gets all of the suspect tests. And I mean, Abra's probably, if I were to go back into my Little Cup memory and be like, Little Cup, how you play, Abra is definitely it's still S tier, I think. I think it's one of the S tier mons in Little Cup right now. And it's definitely up there with Diglett in terms of usage. Because Abra and Diglett are both very similar in what they do. I personally run focus sashes on both of them. Abra gets the magic guard, doesn't take rocks damage ever, and it can it's got a decent move pool that I can wipe out pretty much everything with that. So I can understand getting rid of Abra, kind of. I think it's definitely easy to get around, especially with every single Pokemon in the tier running knockoff. With Focus Sash, I can see that being a problem, but there's so many other like useful little Pokemon that can help get around it. I think it's literally just that Little Cup is super stagnant, and not enough people really play it for the meta to develop properly. I mean, that's my true opinion, is that Little Cup just doesn't have enough players in it to properly evolve the meta, because we had the Little Cup Battle Clinic a few weeks ago, right? And the Little Cup Battle Clinic, I was building a team for it because I haven't jumped into the Little Cup in probably like 7 months or so. Well, actually before Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon, because Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon, they got rid of APOM, and for good reason. And APOM was kind of the reason I played Little Cup. So I haven't played since then, but I was looking at it, I was building the team, and all of the Pokemon on my team that weren't APOM were all still really good choices for a team. And I was just like, that's really interesting that all of the Pokemon that are like S tier and A plus tier are still the S tier and A plus tier after like a year and a half, right? And this was still the way it was back in Gen 6. Back in Gen 6, these were still the Pokemon you used. Mm-hmm. So I just think Little Cup is just underdeveloped. And that's fine. I think it's a fun meta, and it's a great meta to go learn Pokemon in if you want to learn how to think about Pokemon in a more strategic way. Other than like, hey, this Pokemon's move is super effective to that Pokemon's move.
I've heard you mention before that Little Cup is monstrous in teaching you how to exactly calculate stats.
Yeah, that's true. I wouldn't get too hung up on that. Like, I would definitely just go to Smogon and steal the spreads. Mm-hmm. Right? But if I were, which you're going to do anyway, like, so let's say you're a new player to the game. You're going to jump into Little Cup. And you're already at OU, and you're going to Smogon. You're taking your 252 sets from the Smogon page, and you're pasting them in. Just do the same thing for Little Cup, right? You go over there. I think Little Cup has a world more. It's way easier to learn Little Cup from Little Cup, things like speed tiers and just like actual damage outputs and stuff like that. I think Little Cup is a much better meta for learning those things in. It's definitely where I started to get like a better grasp of certain things in Pokemon. Like speed tiers like really clicked with me with Little Cup, because you're not dealing with base 91 speed. How is that supposed to line up with blah blah blah? And you're sitting there and you're just like, okay, Pokemon has speed values of 7 to 20 in Little Cup, right? And you memorize all the Pokemon that have 19, because the only two with 20 are Diglett and Elekid. And you memorize everybody with 18, and you memorize everybody with 17, and everybody with 16, and you just get like this really good idea, this really good feeling of speed tiers and how Pokemon are faster than others. And then when you go back to OU, you realize, I don't actually have to memorize 91 versus 92. I just have to have an idea of this Pokemon and this Pokemon have the same speed. This Pokemon and this Pokemon have the same speed. These outrun this one. Right? And you don't have to be like, oh man, Landorus has a base 91 speed. What does that even mean? It's just easier to think about that. And that's one of those things you kind of have to use to your advantage, is understanding speed tiers, not just in Little Cup, but just in Pokemon. And that's the end of Thatch rant about Little Cup and how it's a really good teaching tool.
Well, there was Little Cup things going on, so it was obligatory that you got a little rant in.
I mean, I will preach Little Cup till the cows come home. It is just an excellent meta for learning Pokemon.
Mm-hmm. And I will let you, because I know nothing about Little Cup. Except I really appreciate the fact that you kept describing it as underdeveloped and unevolved.
Oh, that's true. That was an unintentional pun, but I will accept that. It is just really underdeveloped, though. Like, the meta is really underdeveloped, in my opinion. Mm-hmm. Just because nobody plays it. Nobody plays Little Cup. Who's going in there to play Little Cup? Like, Sigma, can you look to see how many people are playing Little Cup on Showdown right now?
We can do
like
this.
How many Little Cup matches are going on? Yeah, like, I guarantee you it's like 10, maybe even less.
We have 6 Gen 7 Little Cup matches.
That's what I thought. Super easy to ladder, though, by the way.
I was going to say, better than NU.
Yeah, better than NU. I think it's like 2, like at any given time.
On that topic, Sigma, what's going on in NU?
Ice cream got banned.
No more ice cream.
Yeah, Vanillix is gone. It got free blizzards in NU. and it doesn't have
A
that.
complete side note that's not like a battle thing at all, just something that I think would be funny is Gen 8, we get Vanillix, like regional variant of Vanillix, but it's not Vanillix, it's called Chocolix.
Stop.
And it's just a chocolate Vanillix, right?
Stop. I hate it.
Ideas. Now we can put Gen 8 in the title. Keep going.
What's going to be the next Gen 8 OU? You heard it here, folks.
Vanillix. Oh, it's ice ground type too. And it gets Sandstream
Stop.
as a hit ability. Boom.
No,
I've just solved all of their problems.
Signature move Rocky Road. It sets Stealth Rock while doing 50 damage.
That'd be
I hate
perfect.
this.
I'm okay with this. I like this.
No, you make it you make it chocolate vanilla or chocolate. No, you make it a swirl Pokemon. So you
It's a Neapolitan. It's 3 types.
Okay, but I'm still confused why Vanillix even got banned in the first place. What's the reasoning behind that? Like, I can, because Abomasnow, not Obamasnow, Abomasnow is still in that tier. Like, Mega Abomasnow is there, and it sets the hail. It does blizzard things. Granted, it doesn't have like the speed stat Vanillix has. Vanillix is what, like base 80?
I believe so. Somewhere between.
It's something around 80.
Yeah.
As opposed
somewhere
to
around 80.
Abomasnow's what, 60?
40.
I think
Mega
it's
Abomasnow
really
40.
is lower.
30, I think, for Mega.
Mega's 30 for sure.
But yeah, the thread about Vanillix specifically cites its choice scarf set as
Okay,
one
that makes
thing.
sense.
So
It just gets instant hail, and so like you get 100% blizzards at speeds faster than the rest of NU.
Mm-hmm.
So that makes sense to me. Yeah, the choice scarf set's pretty nasty. I mean, you can get around it in other tiers because I guess there's no like prominent bullet punch users down in NU. Maybe you could get away with like the rogue Riolu.
but that's not even stab.
No, that's not even stab. I think Pawniard's actually used in NU. I think it actually has like a usage stat in NU.
It might.
So maybe Pawniard. You run Eviolite Pawniard, and you hope that the blizzard doesn't freeze you, and you just Ironhead the Vanillix and do like half damage because you're a Pawniard.
Well, now NU stuck with Cryogonal as their ice type.
That's fine.
Mega Glalie, I think, is down there now too.
Mega Glalie is down there. I think NU has a surprisingly large number of megas. By the way, like I am blown away by the number. I think it's like 3. That's 3 more than I thought would be down there.
Yeah.
Because they have Audino down there as well.
Claw.
Yeah, Audino's down there, Abomasnow's down there, and like you said, Glalie. Like all 3 of them are down there, which just blows my mind. I mean, that's gonna be fun though. I never actually saw too much Vanillix when I was playing, but maybe that's because it got banned before I was playing it for funsies when we were testing the Decidueye team.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think it was banned a few weeks back. So
Interesting.
Yeah.
Interesting. That's really weird. Mm-hmm. Goodbye, Vanillix.
Yep. And I mean, that's pretty much the only notable news bits that are going on in the tiers. For those who are still interested in OU, hail to the chief. Magearna is now officially S rank in viability. That's pretty much the only change.
Was it?
Magearna's S rank in
wasn't?
viability. No, not while Zygarde was there, oddly enough. So
Okay.
yeah.
must have been just A+.
Yeah,
or
it was
S-.
Yeah.
only A+.
Only. It was
Only.
S tier for like a little bit when Zygarde was in the tier.
Yeah. Yeah, but now people have discovered that it also learns Pain Split, so that's a thing.
Yeah, that's good.
Okay.
But that's the only
Understandable.
OU change, really, other than, everyone's still trying to figure out what on earth can fill the void of our snaky friend. That's pretty much it, though. So
The answer's
Okay.
the answer's Lantern, but
the answer's obviously Lantern.
we run Soak.
Stop. I still have trauma from that. But that was 180 turns of nonsense. Anyway.
It's okay.
Moving along, though, that kind of wraps up the news, so we're going to cut it here for a second and move on to the topic, which is VGC Moon Series. So, see you after some kind of break in sound.
Repel Incorporated is looking for adventurous, brave, and talented individuals to join our team here at our Viridian City location. We here at Repel Incorporated produce the #1 product in Pokemon repellent today. In order to create our high-quality product, we need trainers like you. to venture forth into the depths of Viridian Forest and procure vital elements of the Repel formula, including Vespiquen saliva, Beedrill stingers, and Venomoth powder. Required skills of the position include at least 3 badges and a Pokemon team, preferably at least 1 fire type. Psychic trainers need not apply. Applicants must also be willing to sign a waiver, stating they do not hold the company responsible for any injury, or fatalities for that matter, received in the line of duty. So come on, and join our exciting team.
And we are back talking about the Moon series of VGC, which, for those of you who don't know, is different than the Sun series. You're welcome.
Yeah, the moon's out.
Yeah, the moon's out.
Hell.
The day is over.
The day. Oh God. I just realized that. Like, oh man, it's the day, and then it becomes night, and then Ultra Series is like, welcome to hell, and because it's gonna be awful. Like, I can't. Like, there's plenty to talk about with like what's going on in Moon Series, but it's gonna be awful.
Ominous organ music is definitely in the distance. So.
Oh, that's yeah. Oh God, we got to put that in now.
A layer of just Toccata and Fugue behind us.
Yes, exactly.
But why is Moon different than Sun, you might ask? The answer is Z crystals. That's pretty much it. You can still use 2 legendaries on your team of a restricted number of pool stuff. That's just the same as Sun. But the big difference is just that certain Z crystals are allowed. The only ones that aren't are Ultra Necrozmium, however you pronounce that, Z. That's the only Z crystal that's banned. Additionally, no Mega Evolution still. So, no
Nobody
Primals.
liked Mega Evolution
no Mega,
anyway.
Yeah. Also, for those wondering, that includes Rayquaza. So, no Mega Ray.
And no primals.
And no Primals.
Yet.
Which are just old Megas.
It's gonna happen. Yes. I'm ready to see, like, I feel like Ultra Series is going to test just like a couple of things real quick, and then it's all going to get squashed out, and it's going to be Ultra Necrozma and Xerneas on every team.
Yep. Pretty
and
much.
that's what we're going to get stuck with. Well, maybe Ultra Necrozma and Yveltal.
I was going to say, Ultra Necrozmas can run Sunsteel Strike, so...
Yeah, it might be, I could definitely see it turning into like, just like Yveltal Ultra Necrozma cores, and that's all we get.
And don't forget about everyone's favorite Uber god right now, which is Primal Groudon. That's what's coming down the pipeline.
I don't know that Primal Groudon is going to be as big. I mean, I don't want to speculate too much right now because we should be talking about Moon Series, but I don't think it's going to be as big, mostly because Ultra Necrozma is so good. Mm-hmm. Like, something with a good like attack and special attack stat that can learn Photon Geyser. Mm-hmm. Like, I just can't see it not doing well.
Right.
I just can't see it not doing well. The only thing is Yveltal. Yveltal can come in and just destroy it.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the only thing. But yeah, I digress. You can move on to the Moon series now.
But yeah, the Moon series is going on right now. Do you guys remember when the Moon series officially ends? Wasn't there just one tournament?
April 1st-ish?
April 1st.
April 1st-ish. It's either April 1st or April 4th, I remember.
I was going to say it's like the first Monday in April when they do the update.
Yeah, the first
online.
Monday in April. Yeah, that is actually... It's probably the first, because that's the first Monday in April.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So, it'll be fun, but some good things right now. Just kind of diving in. We had the Oceania regional, or not regional, international. Thank you. We had the Oceania International happen this last weekend upon the time of recording, and that kind of gave us a glimpse into what Moon is about. And we got a champion, Eduardo Cunha, I think is how you pronounce it, from Portugal. He had a really fun time.
Whoever I assume is his friend got second.
Yeah, with the exact same team.
Luke Curtail with the exact same team.
From Australia, yeah. And, yeah, there were some interesting things in there. We're looking at some of the results from some of the top people. I've seen the replay of the finals match. I know, Sigma, you watched part of it until it got down to the slugfest.
I did watch the end of the Stakataka Fest.
Even I couldn't do that.
So for just reference, like, I don't think this team is too out there because, like, a big core that's been popping up. This core originally popped up. What's his name? Ashton Cox. He ran this like back in October, and just the Xerneas Lunala core, and he ran it back in October. It didn't do very well, but then you get to like Lunalium Z, which I'm not actually sure what it does.
It's just a really strong ghost attack, which means it hits just about everything in the format that's not an Incineroar.
Not to mention, it can knock out an opposing Lunala through Shadow Shield.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. I did not know that, and so that's good to know. It's also a forever long animation.
Yes.
But looking at this team, like, it's just like a mix of everything that's cool and I hate about VGC. Because, I mean, you have like Lunala, which I didn't think was going to do that well in this format at all. Mostly because of dark types being so prominent, like Incineroar and also Yveltal, which I think is just like an awesome Pokemon. And I think Yveltal did make top cut though.
There's one.
There's one. He did make top cut, which makes me happy because that's probably why he should. But it's got the Lunala on it. It's got crazy cool Sarina, which I think is really cool, just having like a really cool tech Sarina.
That's a really cool one.
And it's not even tech. It's not even tech.
I was
it's
gonna
just
say,
like
when
nice.
every team has fake out from Incineroar,
Yeah.
like that's what you want.
It's such
Serena.
It's I love that Sarina made it. The only thing is like and Stack Attack is cool as well, but then the other three are just like the complete opposite, and it's just like, oh, look at all this overusedness. And so I'm gonna save the worst for last. So like you have Incineroar, who's on I think something like 90% of all VGC teams now.
Yeah, if you go to Smogon usage stats and the 1760 ranking of it, it is on 90% of VGC Moon teams at the moment.
Yeah, it's on like 90% of VGC teams. Even like on P.U.C.L, they'll give you that.
Yep.
And that's disgusting. That's worse than Lando.
I was gonna say that's about double your standard Lando usage.
Yeah. So like think of Lando, but it's a kitty cat on fire. And like, I mean, at least it looks cooler than Lando. Lando just kind of looks like he has old man like age spots on him. And Incineroar actually looks really cool, and he's in Smash Brothers, so like that's kind of cool.
We know they like tigers. That's all we know.
Xerneas is just like, oh, remember VGC 16 and when I was really big? And it's like, yes, I do.
It's like Geomancy is not a broken move.
Nope.
And then my least favorite of all of these is Smeargle. Like, Smeargle is just the bane of VGC in my opinion.
On the plus side,
I think
it's not dark voiding anymore.
And honestly,
Thank
it's
God.
not sporing anymore.
No, it has to kiss.
That's true.
Yeah, it has to actually hit, and with things with overcoat and safety goggles, which is popping up on a whole lot of things, it can't safely spore anymore. It also just, Kartana, it's just gonna not care. So
Exactly.
it's gotta resort to lovely kiss.
Yeah, I don't want to go too much into this because we want to talk a little bit about this in Team of the Episode, but I mean, it's got a lot of cool stuff on it. Like, I think the moveset that it has, Follow Me, Lovely Kiss, Wide Guard, Crafty Shield, I think that's fantastic. Wide Guard is such a good move in VGC, and I'm happy to see that. I mean, combined with Queenly Majesty, that's just going to be fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I think this meta is pretty cool. I want to take a minute and I want to talk about this SpaceX core, and I know you guys do too.
Yes.
I'm sorry, I'm taking the show from you.
No,
Seth,
you're fine. Honestly, I was going to do the same thing, so it's okay.
Because the SpaceX core is like fantastic.
I just love the name.
First of all, it's called SpaceX, which is, Xerneas Lunala, fantastic. And I mean, combined with that, Lunala's been seeing a lot of play, mostly because it gets access to the move Psych Up.
Yep.
On top of everything, and it compared with Xerneas. So you can have Xerneas Geomancy and then Lunala Psych Up after that. So Lunala gets all of the Geomancy boosts, while Xerneas also has all of the Geomancy boosts. And you're just having the time of your life.
It's gross.
Like it's gross, and it's amazing at the same time.
And when they're on the field at the same time, that leaves Lunala's only attacking moves as Ghost and Psychic type. What likes to take those?
Yep.
Dark types. What hates dark types? Or rather, what do dark types hate? A fairy-boosted Xerneas.
Fairy type. It's so disgustingly good that it makes me cry. Mm-hmm. But I really like that idea, and I like seeing Psych Up make a return to VGC in a way like this. Mm-hmm. Also, VGC is just interesting in that we get to see a lot of moves that usually don't see play, because I know you and I, Seth, are single players for the most part. Mm-hmm. Sigma, you definitely dabbled in VGC. Yeah. I don't know if you've played too much this format, but I know personally that you've played a lot of previous formats.
Alola hasn't been as fun for me, but
because like you and I met for the first time face to face
at 2016
like a
events.
Premier Challenge and 2016 events. I mean, we knew each other before then, but like we that's when we first like met face to face, and so I mean, I know you used to do it, and we went to that Premier Challenge, and you got like what, second place or first place?
I made top 8, and then I think I took second.
No, it was top 4 because I very clearly
Okay.
remember it came down to a speed tie, and I got knocked to 6th place because of a speed tie, or it would have made top cut.
Yeah,
I was so upset.
I do remember getting second place the next day on that Premier Challenge. So
I remember that because that was back when Premier Challenges were best of ones.
yeah, that made things so nice.
Oh man, that was cool and also awful.
Oh, that would be
At
awful
the
with
same
sea
time.
crystals around, because then you just don't know.
Oh, absolutely.
But
Yeah. It was awesome. It worked very well with your Scarf Kyogre. That's all I remember.
now Scarf
So,
Kyogre's everywhere. So
Yep.
It is everywhere. Every time I see that in a suggested moveset, I just think of you. I think of that one time we went to that Premier Challenge.
that was a good time.
I remember that very clearly. I do like. I mean, I just think it's really cool. VGC, you get to see a lot of cool strategies you just normally don't see, especially in this meta where I don't know. I play Ubers from time to time as well. I try to dabble in as many metas as I can. I will admit I'm not very proficient in RU or PU, but I'm decent at the rest of them. Like NU, I've played a lot of NU recently. I've played OU, and UU is always a nice, fun, like relaxing take back to Generation 6.
It's like a break from OU, pretty much.
Yeah, and so like I play all of those. I play Ubers though. I not as much as I used to, but I have played Ubers in the past because of what's it called? What am I thinking of? Because of streaming.
Yeah.
because like you'll always get the kids that like come in and they'll be like, I don't know how tiers work. I'm gonna bring all of my Uber Pokemon, and I'm like, well, I actually want to have like an Uber team ready then, right? Just to either like play them or feel good about myself. Because like I played with them with like a team that they know what to do, and I mean it's been cool. It was a nice foray. I learned a lot about the meta. One of those that I think is still somewhat underdeveloped. I think it's just because a lot of people don't play it, and the people that do play it for the most part are more of they're younger. I think everybody that I've ever met that, well, not everybody. I shouldn't say everybody, but I know there are a lot of people who play Ubers that are typically younger. It's typically younger people. And I understand that because you want to play with your Ultra Necrozma, you want to play with your Groudon. And so, like, I get it. I just think that doesn't allow the meta to get pushed forward too much, though, when you have a younger player base that doesn't understand the finer details of, like, Pokemon.
Mm-hmm. I can see where you're...
They should go play some Little Cup.
Oh, gosh.
That's what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
But...
Look what you've done.
Yep. And so, I mean, but I get to learn like a little bit, and it helps in these GS Cup years because you get to go, oh, well, this Pokemon counters this Uber counters this Uber very frequently. And it's even better when you're just like, this Pokemon who's not an Uber can counter this very well. And so you know what you can put on your team.
Like Toxicroak.
Yeah, exactly. Toxicroak, I think, is fantastic. That was such a good play in Sun Series.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that was just a fantastic bring.
Like, it's still just such an easy answer to Kyogre to throw on a team that doesn't have something to
well,
do with it.
he made top cut again, too, this one, too. He made top cut Toxicroak, mostly because, like, Kyogre is still very prominent. I think it's on 3 of the top 8 teams this go around.
I think it's at least that, and it was definitely something that he was prepared for. Looking at things like Serena being brought, and even in some cases a Moongus on every other team except the top 2. It's definitely something people prep for.
Yeah, I think Kyogre is just something that people knew was coming. It was an inevitability. Xerneas is on like 6 of these teams as well in the top 8.
All of them.
All in the top 8.
All of them. Actually, it's okay. Never mind. Man, I hope Xerneas dies. But
it does every 1,000 years.
When we get Ultra Necrozma, maybe when Ultra Necrozma comes, we'll see Xerneas just go down in flames. It's just one of those things. I don't know what's going to happen yet. I'm very excited to see how it goes, though, and see how this meta develops a little bit further in Ultra Series. But that's all I really have in my notes.
For the most part, that's kind of all it is, especially with Moon not taking a huge amount of time. It's almost the awkward middle stage between starting the VGC tournament and what it will ultimately end up to be. So,
yeah, I personally see it. I don't know. I see both of them as just kind of stalling for the inevitable.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Because Pokemon is really aware of their meta, the meta that they create, even in singles. Like, I think the big thing that we can all look back for a good example of Pokemon being very aware of what they're doing and how they try to balance is if we look at the transition from Gen 6 to Gen 8.
Or Gen
And
7.
if you look at Gen 6, or yeah, Gen 7. Again, we can put Gen 8 in the title. But I think this is one of the big things, because if we look at Gen 6's OU meta, and we really look at that, what was one of the big dominating forces in Gen 6's OU meta? And the answer is Talonflame.
Yep, I was about to say.
And they nerfed Talonflame on the shift to Gen 7 to the ground.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I can't... I think the first, 3 reveals of Pokemon in Gen 7, it was just constant. Man, they're nerfing Talonflame. Like, we got... we not just got Serena's Queenly Majesty, but we also got Bruxish's ability.
Dazzling, yes.
Whatever that one. Dazzling. Both of those just nerfed Talonflame. And then you got the nerf
Psychic
to
Terrain as
Gale
well.
Wings itself. Yeah, and Psychic Terrain. And so, all of these things, they're very aware of these things.
Yeah.
Yeah, they went down a list for Gen 6 going into Gen 7 of just things.
I think they're very aware of where the meta's going to go when Ultra Series hits, and I think they were aware that if they did just the one meta, which would have been just Ultra Series, right, that we all assumed what was going to happen, I think they saw it becoming very stale very quickly.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm really expecting to see. I'm expecting to see right out the gate people try some old 2016 tricks, and then we get Ultra Necrozma on every team. Mm-hmm. And everybody's just turning into it's just an arms race to see who's willing to turn into Ultra Necrozma first, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, we'll see how it goes. I think Lunala still has a place in that meta, but we will absolutely see.
Yeah. Once it turns Ultra, Dusk Main tends to take the forefront a little bit from the things that I've been researching. But
no, you're absolutely right though, because Duskmane gives you better options.
It's also a great Xerneas counter before it ultras.
Yeah. This is
absolutely absolutely true. I mean, that's even true in Ubers right now.
Mm-hmm.
Ultra Necrozma is really big in Ubers right now, and Duskmane is significantly better than Dawn Wings.
To the point that some people get in and say, let Lunala drop, not Lunala, but Dawn Wings drop to OU.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. I don't think Dawn Wings is that good either, right? If you ban Ultra in OU, Dawn Wings might survive, kind of like Kyurem Black. And just because that typing's horrible. Ghost Psychic is not a great type.
No.
Yeah, I mean, look at Hoopa, right? Normal Hoopa. Well, normal Hoopa, I think, is actually in Ubers, isn't it?
No.
Little Hoopa is down
the baby
in
Hoopa?
NU, RU, something like that.
Actually, yeah. Baby Hoopa is in, lower tiers. Because of that typing. That typing's awful. Yep. It's just absolutely awful. So, I mean, take it for what you will.
Yeah.
I think Duskmane though is like you said, it's definitely the one that we're gonna see when it shifts and we're allowed Ultra Necrozma.
Absolutely.
Because it's just gonna become an arms race, and there's just so much vulnerability there too. Because I don't know anything that really handles Ultra Necrozma when it's Duskmane, other than maybe Yveltal, right?
Dawn Wings.
And so you just start coming up with something that's that fights Yveltal. Dawn Wings maybe Sigma. I wouldn't even say Dawn Wings though, right?
Dawn Wings is as close as you can get.
Yeah, it becomes a guessing game though at this
even
point.
Just regular Lunala, because of the speed boost, can take it on pretty well.
Yeah.
Yeah. With its Z move, it probably still just KOs it.
Mm-hmm. But then you run Sucker Punch Mons and stuff, and
I was gonna say,
take care of it.
Well, multi-scale protects it, or whatever, Moon Shield.
Bisharp would be a fantastic option too. Right? I think that would work very well.
Especially with Incineroar all over?
Yeah. I think it's just something to think about. I mean, I know we're talking about Moon Series, but I think this would be... Ultra Series is fun to talk about, too. Mm-hmm. We can see if our predictions come right in 3 months, right?
Yeah.
Just 2,
just 2, but I'm talking. I don't know if I want to do in April Ultra Series battle cast, right? We'll do it in May,
there we go.
Or even
it's
in
had
June.
some time to give us a couple usage stats, maybe a tournament here and there.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe wait till after Nationals or something.
Oh, yeah.
North American Internationals.
I think the Europe Challenge is April. That's why I said that. That's
Yeah,
when we'll actually
that's
see
true.
it.
I think we might see weird stuff at that one. And then
It's pretty early.
at the North American Internationals, we're going to be like, man, Ultra Necrozma's on every team.
Yep.
And that's how that one's going to go.
I'm honestly excited for it, though. With Ultra also being a really good thing in the cards, and then in the VGC.
Yeah, that's true.
It's going to be
that's
great.
True. That's true. I mean, at least it won't have stagnated as quickly as it could have. I mean,
Yeah.
Moon Series was a good idea.
Mm-hmm.
It was a good idea to slowly ramp up to that.
Yep, and let you train your Necrozmas. But
Yes, absolutely.
with that, though, I think we're going to cut off the VGC and let the moon finally set. Then we're just going to go ahead and kick it on over to talking about this team that won first place. So stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Hey Puckalonians, it's Sublime Manic. Can't get enough of your favorite flip-flopping podcast? Then check out our social media. You can find links to our Facebook, Twitter, Reddit, and YouTube all from our website, pucklepodcast.com. And you can join our Discord to hang out with your favorite hosts and other Puckalonians. Also, check us out at twitch.tv/thepucklepodcast. And if you have an Amazon Prime account, consider subscribing to our Twitch channel. You can also check us out at YouTube at YouTube/PucklePodcast. And we also have a Patreon if you're able to give anything at patreon.com/PucklePodcast.
And welcome back. We are going to go over the winning team from the Oceania Regional, piloted by Eduardo Cunha. I'm probably mispronouncing that. But also piloted by Luke Curtail from Australia for the most part. They had the same Pokemon with a couple differences in moves here and there, but we're just going to split it up.
Wasn't it just one?
I think it might have been just one. I need to look a little bit closer.
I think it's just one.
I think it is just the one.
I think it's just one.
Yeah. I mean,
I think it's just one.
it's largely the same idea and everything, but we're just going to split it up 2 by 2.
Ooh.
So I'll be taking the first 2, starting off with the most common lead that I saw in watching some replays. We have everyone's favorite buddy Smeargle that really kicked their butt on that first island. Or is that just me?
That's just you.
No, that was a challenging battle. That was rough.
I think it's hard if you're nuzlocking.
That's true.
I don't think it's hard if you're playing the game.
Mm-hmm.
Because like if you're nuzlocking, you could be like, oh man, I started with Litten. And then Smeargle's like, I'm going to use Water Gun. And then you're also nuzlocking, so the other Pokemon you have is Pick-a-Peck. And Pick-a-Peck's like level 8. And so it just dies anyway because it's a Pick-a-Peck.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, there you go. There's your logic for that game.
Yeah. But anyway, starting off with Smeargle, it's, good old regular Smeargle with it's fast. It's holding a focus sash to keep it alive. Its moves are Lovely Kiss to put something to sleep. Follow Me to retarget everything to it. Really good in the Lunala metagame if you can grab its Z move, because you're immune. It's got Wide Guard to stop team targeting moves like Earthquake, Rock Slide, and Dazzling Gleam, so that's really handy if you just don't want to die. Always helpful. And finally, Crafty Shield, which is a move that I actually had to look up. It protects all users on that side of the field from status moves. So I just had to make sure there wasn't something weird about it. But yeah, Crafty Shield. It blocks Lovely Kiss. It also blocks whatever sleep move the opposing Smeargle wants to throw at you. It blocks Follow Me type things, I think.
I mean, it stops status. Like the big one is what's it called? Like Taunt.
Mm-hmm.
It stops taunt. So like if you're trying to taunt the Xerneas or you're trying to taunt the Lunala or something like that's really where it helps out a lot.
Yeah. It works also really well with things like Stack Attacker that want to set up Trick Room, but we'll talk about that in a bit.
That's true.
So that's the Smeargle. It's also got the ability that everyone loves, Moody.
Roll the dice.
He's a moody boy.
Yeah, that was clutch in the final battle with the last 2 guys, because Moody, you could hear the audience start screaming in excitement whenever one of them got an evasion boost or an accuracy boost or something like that. So it was crazy.
The accuracy boost, really important.
It is for Lovely Kiss.
Actually, with Lunala, oh my gosh, I didn't even think about that.
Oh,
I'm
also,
an
yeah,
idiot.
it could do that too. Oh.
Yeah, I'm an idiot. Man, that would be pretty big with Lunala. Okay.
So, yeah, that's Smeargle. Pretty easy. It's just meant to start off the game right, put something to sleep, maybe, and survive one hit. And, get an evasion boost and then never die. And
probably gonna run
That's
max
true.
speed on there and max HP, I
Yeah.
imagine.
Yeah, those are the most common.
Something like that.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Next up, we've got Stakataka, everyone's favorite band, RU Wall. There's a lot of everyone's favorites on these teams. You know, everyone's favorite Queen, Serena.
Yeah.
Everyone's favorite Pixar character. Not Pixar, DreamWorks. DreamWorks is Incineroar. Anyway. So we've got Stakataka. Its moveset is Rock Slide, Gyro Ball, Trick Room, and Protect. Pretty simple. Just set Trick Room and just go to town. It's got a brave nature, which is important to note because it's not a lonely nature, meaning when you knock something out, you get a defense boost, not an attack boost, which is really good because there's a lot of physical things. Incineroar itself is a good one, as an example. Serena can also be a physical attacker you want to stop.
Mm-hmm.
I'm scrolling through. Groudon, you're probably going to fall to anyway, but...
Yeah, well, if you get the Trick Room set up, you're doing okay.
Yeah, but...
Like, you're doing okay.
That seems to be an interesting choice as far as the stack attack is. I would have expected the attack boosting one, but I saw Brave come in handy.
No, this is attack. This is the attack.
No, it's Brave.
No,
That's speed.
No, it's Brave. So it's defense.
Yeah.
It's defense boosting. Yeah, no. Lonely 14 IVs in defense. Yeah, you're right. Yep.
So...
You're right. You're right. With safety goggles.
With safety goggles for blocking things like Spore.
Like a Moongus
Yep.
in general.
And Spore.
Actually, no. You also want to block Rage Powder, too.
Yep.
Oh.
So you can hit those Xerneas.
Mm-hmm.
That Xerneas, bro.
Yeah.
Interesting. Yeah, that's true. I like that.
Yeah.
I like that.
It's a really good one.
Oh.
And, I mean, Gyro Ball's just your kill everything attack. Rock Slide is your spread damage
Knock
attack.
out Xerneas.
Yeah.
Every Xerneas that ever existed attack. Yeah.
And then Protect is
That
great
makes
for
sense.
stalling when it's a stack attacker versus stack attacker match.
Yeah.
So that's my two. Moving on, Thatch.
Oh, yeah. So we got SpaceX. We got Lunala and Xerneas. So Lunala has Moongeist Beam because you're running Lunalium Z. You also have Psyshock, Psych Up, so you can copy Xerneas. Or I guess Smeargle's Moody, which I'd never even thought about, right? And then you get Protect. And then it's got the ability, multi-scale, Shadow Shield, which are pretty much the same thing. It's just a different name because that's how Pokemon abilities work.
In Gen 7, anyway.
I mean, it's really interesting. I mean, we talked about this a little bit in the prior segment, so I don't want to like harp on it too much, but it's just really cool. The Psych Up is just such an interesting move to see used, and it's used well here. Just because you can copy the Xerneas. You can copy an opponent's Xerneas. You can copy Smeargle's Moody. It's just really cool in that way. And then of course you have Xerneas, and they're just like, man, remember 2016? And then they just grab that Xerneas because this is Xerneas. Well, actually, kind of. This is a Modest Xerneas, which I find really interesting because typically they're run timid.
Second
but
place
Modest
did
is going to
have
give you
timid.
Second place has a couple changes here and there. The Sarina is really different in second place. That's the biggest change, I think. But Xerneas over here has Moonblast, Dazzling Gleam, Geomancy, and Protect because they're just like, remember 2016? I remember 2016. Good times. And that's what they did. I used to run Grass Knot on Xerneas, I think, back in 2016. Just because of Kyogre. But this is pretty much the same thing. Power Herb, so you just get that one-turn Geomancy, and there you go. Go to town. Have some fun.
Yep, pray you don't get hazed or clear smogged or roared away by an Incineroar.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, I mean, you have the redirection with Smeargle there, too, to set the Xerneas, because you can just have Smeargle come in, do the redirection, do the Crafty Shield, stuff like that, just to kind of protect the Xerneas. Then you can always get the Lunala in, and then just copy the Xerneas. But Lunala is also good for opposing Xerneas as well, and it can do that. I'm very curious because you guys have seen it, and I don't have a natural feel for this calc, which is the Lunalium Z, the Moongeist Beam onto Xerneas. Does that KO?
I think you'd rather Psyshock since it doesn't get a defense boost.
Oh, okay, yeah. Well, I don't know because I'm just thinking of like the amount of like damage like Lunalium Z can just put out purely, right?
Like I think that's one of the reasons you run a timid Xerneas, so it can be faster than the Lunala, and you can get that boost up quicker than Lunala.
I have no idea what the speed tiers are for Lunala.
97.
I'm going to be completely honest.
Versus a 99.
97 versus a 99. Xerneas is 99. I knew that.
Yeah.
So Lunala. Okay, that's good to know. That's really good to know.
Yeah, they didn't want him too strong this time.
Well, then I'll pass the mic to you then, Sigma, because I know you've got a couple to talk about here too.
Yeah, first off, we have your VGC staple, Incineroar. Yeah,
and it is running no exciting moves whatsoever.
No, you're running the standard Flare Blitz. The knockoff slot has actually started to turn to Snarl on a lot of different Incineroar. This one's still running knockoff, but Snarl helps with your Xerneas and your Lunala, keeping them in
I think
check.
second place was running Snarl.
It is, yeah.
Yeah. And I would almost say Snarl is sometimes more effective because knockoff, it does damage, but it doesn't do as much since it's not actually knocking off the Z crystals that are now available.
Yeah, that's a reason to switch to Snarl over knockoff, though knockoff's still a little stronger because it's single target.
And physical, too, yeah.
Then you've got U-turn, so you can get out of there, so you can come back in the next turn and intimidate more things, which is why we don't see physical attackers or a lot of physical attackers these days. And then standard fake out. We have a Trick Room Nature and Sassy for this Incineroar, holding the Figgy Berry, which the 50% berries are great, and Intimidate, which is why we run Incineroar. Then,
Okay.
Then we have the Serena, where we're also running that Brave Nature for that Trick Room compatibility. We're also holding a 50% berry. Doesn't really matter, you've got like a 1 in 5 shot of calling the wrong 50% berry when you're putting those on. This one's running Eggwall. And then we have Queenly Majesty to block those fake outs. Its moves were Power Whip, High Jump Kick, Feint, and U-turn. Another change on Serena's is sometimes they'll run Helping Hand over Feint or something like that. So
Yeah, the one below was running Power Whip, High Jump Kick, U-turn, Helping Hand.
yeah.
So I guess, just Helping Hand is the difference. They also are running different natures as well. One was Brave, the other one was Adamant.
Yeah.
I think it's just because of the Trick Room. It's trying to take advantage of the Trick Room.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, his team's more situated for those Trick Room battles. So
Yeah, I'm really... I am so interested by Serena. I just never expected to see that one, but it makes sense with just like the stop the priority nonsense, like with Incineroar, and it just helps out overall. Like it's also a good Kyogre counter. It's fantastic. I love seeing Serena in the top cut. I'm just such a big fan of that. I wish we had spreads so we could talk about that a little bit more, but unfortunately Pokemon.com doesn't release those to us.
Right.
Because spreads would just make life really cool, because VGC is really cool in that a lot of Pokemon, granted probably not in this meta, as so much so, but a lot of Pokemon will just like run very specialized sets, and you can figure it out. Unfortunately, a lot of VGC players keep those spreads like really close to their hearts and don't share them very often. So it's just it's one of those things to keep out there, unless you get like a QR team, right?
Yeah, I'm honestly surprised that we were given the natures on the actual.
Pokemon.com has done that forever. You always get natures. You get literally everything but EV spreads. That's the only thing you don't get. And I mean, if you really want to go try something out like this, and you really want to take a team that you see at regionals, I think, or internationals, whatever, I think a really good place to start is to look at the team, look at the moves it's using, look at the idea of like the set it's running, and then go to P.U.C.L. Look at that Pokemon. It'll give you the best idea for what the spreads are, and you can just copy paste those spreads. Granted, I would say after playing it for a little while, if you're trying to get a VGC, you learn why those spreads are the way they are, because that will be important for you when you go and play VGC. Because I think the biggest difference between playing VGC at an actual tournament versus playing Pokemon online like we do in the UTC and other tournaments like that is that when I'm playing Pokemon at home, I can open up Showdown Calculator and I can go, I know I'm going to survive this. And honestly, if you're playing VGC at a real life event and you know a lot of those benchmarks offhand on your own, I think that's incredibly valuable. That's one of the things I did last year when I went to Collinsville. I knew what my Pokemon can take, and I went ahead and I took it and I went and I did those things, and I did fairly well. So if you want to get in the VGC scene, that's really my suggestion.
Yeah. And similarly, the guy who won, in the stream, you could watch him with a notebook taking notes during the battle. So he was taking, almost not running calcs, but he was making notes of what was happening, probably HP percentages, what damages it could do. You can also do that in the TCG, as long as you start with a clean sheet of paper for both of them.
Yes.
So you can be taking notes during things.
Absolutely.
So don't think that that's a bad thing.
I suggest you take notes. I even take notes when I'm playing at home. Like, no joke. If you watch me on stream, I will always have a notepad up. If I'm playing somebody that I know is going to be playing at a higher level, I will go on with a notebook and I will write down their Pokemon. I will be taking notes about their items, their teams. if it made any damage that I thought is odd, because then I could be like, oh, you're choice banded, or oh, you're choice scarf if I see an outspeed or something like that. Those are all things you need to really watch for. Yeah, just throwing that out there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, especially for people in the upcoming draft league. It's basically like playing a game of Clue the entire time, where you find out that Colonel Mustard is carrying a choice band.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So, yeah, I definitely suggest that. But, I mean, I don't know if you guys want to go on any more.
I mean, that's pretty much it. And that kind of covers that team. It was really, really well piloted. The core of Lunala and Stakataka was used in almost every one, especially because both teams had a Xerneas on either side. So they had to have Staka, really. And Lunala is just kind of like Sigma was saying earlier. That's just your nuke to delete any one thing that's not named Incineroar.
Yeah.
It was really cool to watch. Both of them did really well piloting and keeping things safe when it needed to. It came down to time in the end, pretty much, and a brilliant call by Eduardo just on when to fire off his Z move, and that's what really tied it up with him. That was on turn 3 of sudden death kind of thing.
Yeah.
Where he had to have the KOs this turn or it was going to go further, and he managed to pull it through. It was really cool to watch. You could see the relief on his face when he finally tied up everything. But yeah, that is pretty much it, everybody. So that's Sun and Moon, VGC Moon series for you in a nutshell.
Yeah.
We'll see you next time when this is not relevant anymore. And our light dragon is here to eat our dreams. But go on and stop listening to us. Go listen to other Puckle goodness. You can listen to the main show on the Puckle feed, the actual Puckle podcast feed. If you're here, you already have Puckle Plus, so you can start listening to things like TCG Cast and Game Corner and the Puckle live shows that come out every now and then. You can also follow us on Twitter, Facebook, and Reddit, and other such social medias, but those are the most active, especially Twitter. That's where you can get the most up-to-date information, just social media-wise. Be sure to join us on Discord, which is where most of us just hang out. We're in the voice chat quite frequently, so if you want to talk to any of us maniacs, you can do that there, as well as be part of our tournaments and other such things. And finally, if you want to support the show, there are a few ways you can do that. One is by grabbing some merch from TeePublic. There's all sorts of things there. There's designs that we've found and just like and put on our store. There's our designs as well with the Puckle logo, as well as Draft League logos if you're into that and want to support a specific team. You can also follow us on Twitch, where you can watch us stream a couple nights a week, donate some bits, watch some perler beads be put together. And finally, there's also Patreon for us if you're willing to part with a couple pennies. It all goes back to the community, and you can get in on some really cool things like specific giveaways and other such gifts and being part of the live shows. So until next time, I've been Seth Vilo.
I've been Trainer Thatch.
I've been R Sigma.
And we'll catch you next time for next month's Battlecast.